Okay, here we go, guys. I do have some interesting news. As always, that's why you tune in every week, right? Well, we'll go ahead and start with the heavy hitting stuff first, and then we'll dive right into science. I'm feeling kind of inspired coming off of Koi's. The dentist who was in Colorado who allegedly attempted to poison his wife over a series of 10 days by slipping some poison in her shakes is going to jail. Today, the verdict was announced. He was found guilty on multiple charges, and in fact, found guilty of charges beyond the crime about how he tried to coerce someone to murder one of the lead investigators and also tried to get his daughter to cover up evidence. Anyway, sounds like a real winner in my book. And he's going to jail. Sentencing is supposed to be sometime later today, which means it probably, because it's Colorado time, probably happened within the last hour or so. But absolutely going to jail, which I think is rightfully where he belongs. I'm not really sure he put up much of a defense. I think he just infected it. Like, this is one of those clear-cut cases, I think, unfortunately. And now I'm probably on his list. Okay, great. The next thing was I was really hoping Jeff would be on tonight because I wanted him to be one of the first to hear this story because I don't think he's seen it yet. The first pill that could be a curative agent for OSA or obstructive sleep apnea is in its third phase of clinical trial. So, as you know, obstructive sleep apnea is commonly treated with either a CPAP or some type of oral appliance that your dentist might fabricate for you. But there's been this movement amongst pharmaceutical companies, and in particular, Apnea, which is the one that's working on coming up with an agent that might be able to be in pill form that will help with sleep apnea. And I got to be honest, I was stunned. I never thought in a million years that it might come in pill form that we could leverage some type of pharmaceutical to help solve OSA, but that's why I don't work for the pharmaceutical companies. Anyway, it is a neuromuscular modulator. I would assume it's intended to work a lot like Inspire, but without the electrical connectivity to stimulate the muscles of the pharynx, the tongue, the posterior airway to keep them open or to respond when an obstructive event is starting to happen. They kick in to open it back up. It is in its third phase, and at least currently, the data is looking pretty promising. Those OSA patients that were treated with the medication saw a 50% reduction in the severity from baseline at 26 weeks compared to 6.8% in the placebo group. That is a significant reduction in OSA, and it seems like this might have some legs. So the study is going to continue on for 51 weeks, so almost a year. They will get some additional data and they'll put it all together. And I guess we'll see if now this medication gets approved for OSA and will be amongst the other options that we have to provide to patients. My internal instinct is to be a little bit skeptical about the new medications that come on the market that might be able to cure an obstructive sleep disorder. Unlike many of the other types of disease processes that we treat with pharmaceutical agents, this is an actual physical obstruction. Like if a piece of steak got stuck in the middle of your airway, and they can't breathe. So I am genuinely curious. I'm hopeful and optimistic, but I'm also healthily skeptical at the same time. I think you can be all three, right? I think that's fair. The third story for tonight is yet another new product that might be coming on the market. Could you possibly get your vaccinations through Floss? Well, there's absolutely a company trying to make that happen, to be able to floss your vaccines so you don't have to be bothered with going to the doctor anymore for those pesky injections. Now, what I want to make sure is that that's a fully disclosed technique, right? We're not going to be sneaking any vaccines into our floss, but this could be the first needle-free vaccine that we've seen. There has been good data coming out of this study as well, showing a high rate of inoculation occurring. If you think about it, floss is going straight to the gingival tissue, which has a lot of vascularity. If you preload that floss with a lot of, attenuated viruses or dead viruses that you want to replicate in the system so that your immune system will make a response, I mean, it could be a really great way to start introducing vaccines. Now, of course, my brain immediately goes to, okay, is this something you can buy over the counter? Are we going to be able to get over the counter vaccines at that point? Are we going to have to go to our pharmacy to get our floss and then get our vaccine? And then the third thing that you can't ignore, the elephant in the room: how many patients actually floss? Honestly, how many? Is this really the best mechanism? Now, if you put in a chocolate bar, it probably would go bonkers. But floss, you pick the one thing that like only 10% of Americans actually do, then you put something maybe life-saving stuck to it. I don't know. I would love to think that vaccines could be administered in a painless way. It would really help me when I see the 3-year-olds that have already been inoculated so much they hate anybody in a white coat. Get it? Would love it to be in floss. But I'm also slightly skeptical that the average human not already flossing would actually leverage the technology for good. And with that, that's the news.